welcome to rural Portugal. We're on our way to Murtola and look at it, it's beautiful.
Yet again, we're at the mercy of Google. As driving down the main road, there was a sign saying, well, I don't know what it said because it was in Portuguese, but the gist of it was the road ahead was closed. I noticed too late to take the official diversion, so just carried on following the route that Google had given us. Sorry, big hole in the road. Oh my God.
Cool, that's tight,
Yeah,
love.
and it's taken us down. It's barely more than a gravel track. If we were in a motorhome, we'd currently be stuck between two farmhouses back there because it is tight. But you don't get to see these beautiful places if you follow the main roads. So we're doing it the van navigation way.
I will give Portugal this. Rural Portugal is a stunning, unspoiled landscape. It is absolutely incredible. So beautiful. It's just a shame it's so unspoiled that most of it is all dirt roads and you can't get to it. To Murtola. I think we picked a winner of a town. That Moorish castle up on the hill looks incredible. Oh, look at that. It's lovely. All the birds. Oh, you come so close to the camera then. I think I should get that. You should be on shot. Literally swerved right in front of the lens. Well, Murtola looks like a lovely town and it's absolutely packed with bars and restaurants and things. We arrived here at 3 o'clock and rushed straight out hoping to get a bit of dinner, but unfortunately everywhere is closing or stopped serving and nowhere even has opening time, so it's impossible to know whether we could get dinner later and maybe just grab something light now in the van. So, sorry Murtola, we wanted to spend our money in you, but it seems impossible. Mertola was conquered from the Muslims as part of the Reconquista in 1238 by the Order of St James by the Sword. This castle was rebuilt in 1292 after the conquistadors were given the village for thanks for driving out the Moors that ruled over this area before. So next to this castle is a huge ruin, which is the Moorish castle that stood here before, and then this is the castle that was built in its place. I think we've talked about the conquests before, and the whole Iberian Peninsula is absolutely dripping with the history of the stories that we learnt in school about Christian crusaders who came here and drove the Moors back to Africa. When people visit North Africa, you'll often hear them say about how the architecture here has got lots of Spanish influence, all the little terracotta rooftops and white painted buildings, but actually it's the other way around. The Iberian Peninsula takes its inspiration from North Africa, from the Moorish influence from when the North Africans ruled the entire peninsula. So just outside the walls of the actual castle, you can see the remains of the Moorish castle that stood here before and was ruined as part of the conquests.
We were actually aiming for, on Google anyway, an air just down by the side of the river. We've seen it. It's over that side, and I'm glad we didn't go down there. It's not an air. It looks like a boatyard or something. So yeah, I think we've done well parking where we have. You can see the van just down behind me. And hopefully they light this castle up at night. There's plenty of lights around, but it's winter, so everything seems to be shut at winter. But if they turn the lights on, it should be a beautiful sight tonight.
Of course, while the Moors held this area and the whole Iberian Peninsula for a very, very long time, about 1,000 years ago, the whole story would turn on its head. The Portuguese would use those beach ships to travel across and discover the world. They also discovered the natives when they got there, and they would conquer the whole of South America and nearly all of the Americas, really, bringing back gold and men and probably a few women too.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We've just had a nice little leg stretcher up onto the top of this little hill right next to the castle. We walked up to the castle last night and the views from that side were brilliant, so we thought we'd walk up to this little hill here, and guess what? The views from here are brilliant too. They
are. There's a lovely little church at the top of this hill. Yeah, really stretch the legs getting up here though, it's quite steep.
Yeah, all through the gorse and bracken as well. There wasn't much of a path until we got to the top and realised we could have just driven it, but it was a leg stretcher. Let the dog do her business before we hit the road, because we are off inland to find a big lake for lunch.
Nice.
And then from there we're off to Elvis.
Elvis,
that's
yeah.
It. Elvis.
And that'll be our final.
Not that Elvis.
It's Elvis, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it sounded better the way you said it though. And that will be our final stop in Portugal before we cross the border into Spain.
So in theory, by the end of today,
we could be in Spain.
We could be in Spain.
We'll see how the day goes.
Well, it appears that they have a market on Thursdays. It's a bit spread out, but Kath wants some fruit for the journey, so we're going to spend a little money in the village, since we couldn't yesterday because everywhere was shut.
Have a good day.
How much for your strawberries, darling?
€3 for a big punnet.
Well, that's a lot cheaper than the supermarkets here, so there we go. It pays to shop local and it pays to shop at the market.
Absolutely does, yeah. Yeah, we have noticed as well that when we first got over the border, strawberries are really, really expensive, but I guess they're in season now because it was kind of a month ago when we come over the border, and I think they're a little bit more ripe now, so they've come down everywhere, but they're still more expensive in the supermarket than I just paid there.
Can't beat a fresh strawberry.
I'm not going to beat them, I'm going to eat them.
And so it begins. Another one of Kath's park hops.
I always get the blame.
Well, it is always your park hops.
I did say I'm not sure if it's accessible because the roads might be rough in.
Actually, it doesn't look that bad compared to some of the ones we've done over the last couple of weeks. It's a little bit washed out on the way in, but actually it's quite smooth. So
yeah, see?
apart from this corner that's...
Oh, that's muddy, isn't it? Oh dear, don't go on the outside of that one.
Yeah, we're alright. Hopefully, at the end of this, there is a big car park where we can sit and enjoy lunch with a view to remember. If we get there. Oh, it's turned into cobbles.
Ha!
Result.
There we go. See, if we'd have come in that way, it would have been a proper road.
Yeah, but the signs were there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, a proper bit of tarmac.
Nice.
Well.
Look at you making all that fuss being overly dramatic. No pain, no gain, innit, guys? Sometimes you've got to take the rough roads to get to the pretty places. Not sure our mechanic is going to thank us for it when we get home, though. And the lake doesn't seem to have a name, but we're at Praia Fluvial de El Crava. Praia's obviously beach, but yeah. The lake itself doesn't have a town. The town nearby is called El Crava. I'm done now. Finished.
What an absolute gem of a place. There's a aired auto caravan just off the main road, just before we turned, and the road went a bit moody. So that was only, I don't know, a kilometre or so away. As usual, they don't want auto caravans in the car park here, which we duly ignored the sign because the car park is empty all bar 2 cars. But yeah, you can imagine in the summer you wouldn't want to come down there in a motorhome or a big van because the car park's not that big and it'd be absolutely rammed. But yeah, I don't know if this is natural sand or imported sand, but I think that's the finest, whitest sand I've seen since being in Portugal. Absolutely beautiful. And of course someone's happy. And the mad thing is if you were to get on a boat or a paddle board and sail off out into the middle of the lake and just keep going, you could actually end up in Spain. It's such a massive body of water with so many little inlets that when you start to zoom in, you notice that right around the other side, and it would be a long boat ride, you could actually be in Spain. That was the gardener telling me that I'd parked the wrong way in the car park, despite the fact that the car park is empty apart from 2 cars. So I just told him we were going to have lunch and go, and he seemed happy, and off he's gone mowing his lawn. But I'll moan about something, I suppose. Back to lunch.
certainly don't want you here overnight in your auto caravannas.
No, and they don't want you parking lengthways, despite the fact that the car park is empty.
Apart from us and the caretaker who come and told us we shouldn't be parked lengthways. There's no one else here. It's absolutely empty, and it's a beautiful day. It's easily in the low 20s.
Yeah, I think if we had more time, we'd probably stay for a few days just to chill out and walk some of the banks, because yeah, it looks like you can walk for miles here. Yeah, wildlife everywhere, huge fish jumping, storks, swallows, swifts, big dragonfly just coming towards us now. It's just, yeah,
it
bliss.
is really, really lovely here. But yeah, I think we have 10 days now, 11 days.
Another big fish.
Was that another big fish? He sees all the big fishes. I miss them all.
I heard that one.
Like we're about 10 or 11 days now until we're supposed to be on that tunnel to cross back over. So I suppose we better keep moving, haven't we?
Yeah, one more stop in Portugal and then over to Spain either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice,
There you go, as promised, the air 1.5 kilometres from the little beach park up. It's a fully serviced area. Drive over grey waste drop. Black waste and water. The only thing I'll say with the water is, as you can probably hear in the background, our pumps are going because it is a massive tap, and I went through my bag of bits and I can't find anything that screws on that. I mean, that's probably 1 inch, and I've only got whatever they are, 3/4 inch attachments and smaller. So yeah, we're having to fill up our containers and pump it in, which is a pain in the arse, but you know, gets it done.
Well, the motorhome stop in Alves is right against a massive aqueduct. I don't know anything about it because I haven't looked it up, but wow, that is insanely big. I've never seen anything like that before. That's very unique. Well, this one's our final stop before we cross the border into Spain.
But that will be tomorrow because it's a bit late now, so we're going to chill out. And apparently I'm doing some hairdressing, am I?
Well, in 1498, here I am, armed with Wikipedia, the only source of potable water in this area since the Moorish occupation began to dry up, and an idea began to spring, literally spring from a spring 5 miles away up the road in a town called Almeria. But how would they get the water here? Well, this viaduct, which they began building in 1537, I think, was the answer. And this amazing feat of engineering brought water 5 miles to this town to give the town potable water for the first time since the well had dried up. How fascinating is that? And what an extraordinary feat of engineering considering it's almost 500 years old.
Good morning to a grey and chilly Portugal. Our last day in the country and the weather has disappointed. We were hoping for a nice sunny walk up to the castle of Alves, but yeah, it's not to be. But we're going to go walk there anyway. We parked last night underneath this viaduct you can see behind us, and what a feat of engineering it is.
It's amazing. Just the sheer scale of the thing is huge. Just the part you can see here. And then last night on Google Maps, I just followed it all the way back to Amoria or whatever that town is where the water comes from. And it's just miles and miles and miles of it. Incredible, really. Look at how fast people drive.
At least they toot to let you know they're coming.
this yellow building that we've been walking through, and the entrance to the fortification, is a military barracks, and it was building was begun in 1694 by King Peter II, and it was completed in 1715. And in these buildings all the armaments were held, all the grenades and rifles and everything else, and it was considered to be the entrance to the fortification. So we've just arrived at the half bulwark at Elvas Castle. The castle was completed in 1229. And although we won't be visiting them today, Elvas also has two forts on the outskirts of town that do actually look well worth a visit. We just don't have the time. These forts were built in the 17th century, making Elvas the largest drywall bulwark system in the whole world. I'm not quite sure what that means, but yeah, it's generally to do with how defended the town is, I think. And all of this was built when Portugal became independent in the late 1600s. Captured for the album in 1166. So it's €3 each to explore the main ramparts of the castle, and dogs are allowed. Oh wow. And although I said that the castle was built in 1200 and something, it was actually renovated then. It was taken from the Moors in 1166, and I don't think there are any Western records of when it was actually built. Look how far the barracks go round. So we walked up this way through the big yellow building, and then those barracks go all the way around the old town, and they finish up over here somewhere. Oh, it's dark in here. Don't lock me in.
Tempting.
I just want to take a picture right door really before you go up through then.
I'll teach you.
Well, how you get me, Lily?
It's not built for tall people.
No.
I don't think they were very tall in the 10th century.
Hello, Lily. See you, little Snoop. Very Moorish.
You want more?
I always want more when it comes to castles, but no, I meant the Moors, you know, the ones who conquered this area. Well, that was really interesting. I enjoyed that. That was well worth the €3.
Yeah, it's not much, is it? £2.50. You only get to walk around the walls, but the views up there are fantastic. It's nice to see a castle that's reasonably well maintained.
Yeah, that's a good visit.
And the bonus, it hasn't rained yet.
It's
trying.
I can see it over there. It's
we can see it coming. So race back to the van and onwards to España.
Yeah, I'm hungry now though, darling. You're going to feed me in Spain?
Yes. Yeah. Right, well, we're off to Spain, and I suppose we'll catch you in the next episode.
Yep, I guess we will. See you in Spain. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below.
Take care.